Hi, and welcome to Getting to Know Your Heavenly Family. Today we're going to be looking at the life of Saint Francis Xavier Bianchi, who is different from what most people know as Saint Francis Xavier. But this man is from in Arpino, Italy. And this is in what was then the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. So he was educated as a student in Naples, and he received his tonsure when he was only 14. But his father, however, would not hear of him entering religious order. And so St. Francis, he had to pass through a very difficult period of time where he suffered from great mental anguish because of his feeling of responsibility and duty to his parents, but he also had this very strong call from God. So he later sought counsel with Saint Alphonsus Liguori, and then during that time, he found that he was very sure of his vocation to becoming a priest, and he was able to overcome all that opposition and anguish that he was suffering from. He finally entered the Congregation of Clerks Regular of St. Paul. And in consequence, because of all the things that he had to deal with in coming to this point, and overcoming it, he then fell very, very ill, and he suffered greatly for at least 3 years. He did, however, eventually recover, and then he was known for his superior virtue and was very much esteemed for that as well. And many of the different offices of the order, they went and sought advice from him, some wisdom and counsel. And as this was going on, the saint felt more and more of a desire to almost live a hermit life, but because he was so needed, he didn't actually get to do that. But instead, his health began to suffer, and his infirmities became so great that he actually could hardly drag himself from place to place. And at one point, his legs became so swollen that he had to be carried to the altar in order to celebrate Mass. However, there's so many stories of his miracles and prophetic powers. So one story is that there was a debt, and he had put some money aside and prayed for its multiplication. And God granted that prayer, and the money was in abundance and covered the entire debt. Another miracle was during 1805 when Mount Vesuvius was erupting. And at this point, Father Bianchi could not walk, and he earnestly asked the townsfolk to carry him to where the lava was flowing. And upon arriving, he blessed the lava, and the lava stopped, and it saved the town and the townspeople. And then many years later, he had predicted his own death. And sure enough, there was a woman that came to him, and it was Saint Mary Frances of Naples. And she had gone home to God in 1791. And she had promised to Father Bianchi that she would appear to him 3 days before his death. And she kept her word, and he was given that visit on January 31st, 1815. And it was 3 days prior to that date. So January 31st, 1815, he did breathe his last breath and was canonized in 1951. So Saint Francis Xavier Bianchi, pray for us. Thank you, and God bless.